Good afternoon, Butte. Thanks for tuning in today. We're going to have a very important topic to talk about today, and it's something that we should all be concerned about and be willing to support and help with. Let me give this statistic to you. 36 million adults in the United States have low literacy, and 43% of the adults with low literacy live in poverty. It's not something that stays with them either. It's passed on to the next generation, and so it creates this cycle of continual poverty. Today we're going to talk to Tess Whalen, who is the program coordinator for the Butte Literacy Program here in Butte, and how they hope to tackle this very important topic and be a part of the solution. Tess, thank you for hanging out with us today and for kind of giving us some information on what Butte Literacy Program does. So just tell us a little bit of how you got, what got you into the Butte Literacy Program to begin with?
Well, I've had a long career of working with the public and working with people who are trying to rebuild their lives. And I worked with special women's programs and women who, individuals who have been disabled. And literacy is one of the most difficult topics for people to talk about. When someone has difficulty reading, they do not want to tell you that they can't read. Mm-hmm. It's very embarrassing and it becomes a family secret. And it also results in many family members who say, well, you know, so-and-so didn't finish school, I don't have to either. And so it becomes a family cycle that literacy is the one answer we have to people being able to pull their lives together and to accomplish their goals and actually create goals. And so I'm interested in the Butte Literacy Program because it is a group of dynamic individuals who volunteer as tutors and work very hard and diligently with any individual who desires to get their GED or go on to school and need some help in bringing their skills up to speed. And it's not just reading, because most people, when they hear the word literacy, they automatically connect it to reading. But we're also talking math, basic skills in math. English as a second language. If someone doesn't quite have the grasp of the English language because they've just immigrated to the United States and they need help integrating into our society, they need a little bit of help with that. So Butte Literacy Program offers a lot of those services, right? Yes, not only English, math, science, and the ability to solve problems that comes along with the educational instruction. And our tutors are very gifted people who have spent their lives involved with helping people get an education and work very closely to determine what needs the students have and in what way they can be a support.
And so also being connected with education too, people who are looking to get their GED, or now they call it the high set. It's no longer GED, it's called the high set, in case you didn't know. But those adults who want to go back to school, there's a huge need for help getting prepared for those tests, because you don't just go in there and take it, you have to prepare. And so the Butte Literacy Program also offers services for people seeking to prepare
for taking their GED. And you know, it doesn't matter what the names of the tests are. What we're talking about is individuals who they go to the adult education center and they get pre-tested, and sometimes they know exactly where they need to focus their skills. And our tutors are very capable and very dedicated to helping them achieve those goals. And getting a GED is so often the first step. Many of our students go on to school after that because they suddenly realize exactly what advantages an education can offer.
It changes lives.
It does.
If you have a low-paying job where your low literacy in whatever subject it may be is keeping you from advancing, you get stuck in that.
Well, and it's impossible if you get an entry-level job without literacy skills, math skills, science skills, whatever. You may never advance. And when people start recognizing, well, they don't know what they're doing, it's literacy changes lives so profoundly that they become a part of the mainstream of solving problems within an organization or a company that they work for.
Yeah, the statistics speak for themselves. 36 million adults with low literacy levels that create that intergenerational cycle of poverty. We wonder why there's so much poverty, but we don't really stop to look at the cause of it, and literacy is one of those main problems. And so the Butte Literacy Program wants to be a solution for that. So tell me about some of the needs that the Butte Literacy Program has, because we know that these things don't just happen by themselves. You can't just wish for things to go away, to problems to solve themselves. There has to be a little bit of help behind it. So tell me about what Butte can do to help that.
In addition to having those interested in volunteering to be tutors, but we also need to have people help us raise funds to be able to keep the program going, because we do purchase the high-set tests for individuals, and we do assist them in helping to get those educations. And we are primarily supported by donations, and United Way is a big supporter of our project. And we do have small fundraisers on and off during the year, and we are constantly looking for those who, if they can't tutor or can't volunteer their time, maybe they can volunteer a few dollars to help us keep this program going, because it is a dynamic program. It has a board of very committed and interesting individuals who believe in what the program is about and work very hard to see that it's sustained. And we are just now operating after there was several months of not having anyone in the position, and now that we are reunited and affirmed, we still have had tutors who have kept instructing our students, even though there wasn't a coordinator like myself in the job. And they were so dedicated, and it's a commitment to helping people change their lives. And I think that's why it's real easy to get on board and believe in what we're doing, because it does make a difference.
Yeah, and word of mouth is huge here in Butte. We can, I'll post this video on Facebook, and a couple of people will see it. But really, anytime you see a flyer with Butte Literacy on there, they're trying to raise money for the tests that they have to give to some of these students, and the time that's involved in putting the curriculum and things like that. It's very important that you tell others that this program is available. If you know someone who is struggling with low literacy, or who needs to take that GED so they can step into another career, or do better, or go back to school, go back to college, spread the word. Let others know this service is available. If you like to volunteer, if you like to teach, if you love to read, you want to share that love of reading with somebody else, it's huge when you can give a little bit of your time to do that.
I think it's very important for you to recognize that we are not competing with any other organization. The Adult Basic Ed Center has their programs, and they work with students who want to go in and be pre-tested. And during the school year, usually those programs run through September through the end of school, and in June. So I think it's important to know that many of our adults that come in are uncomfortable in classroom settings. They want to work on a private basis with an individual who they can share their fears and concerns, and not be in a classroom where they are competing with other students for the attention of the instructor. It's very critical that most people recognize this is an individualized program to help individuals change their lives.
Yeah, and every little bit of help that we as a community can give to a program like this, I think, is very crucial, because there's 37,000 people in Butte, Montana. If at least 10% of those people spread the word, donated, volunteered, gave some sort of support to this program, I think it would be very successful, because we would like to see everybody elevated to the point where they can have a good literacy level, and pass that down to their kids and help others, whatever capacity that may be, because low literacy level not just affects obviously your inability to read or to understand things, but health. If you can't understand, if you go to the doctor's office and he prescribes something, you don't understand your prescription, I mean, you think about things like that.
Or
Work safety.
Or simply read the instructions of a medical exam when they tell you to do something.
Right.
And
Yeah.
you're too embarrassed to tell the doctor, I'm sorry, I can't read that. It's about simple things in life that most of us take for granted. That when I have a family member that could not read, and yet no one knew it until many, many years had passed, and finally he decided to educate himself, and he did. And those things they touch your heart and soul, because you know that their lives have been hurt and held back in so many ways, simply because they didn't know where to go or how to acquire the skills that they need to be competitive in the job market and be able to achieve things for their family and achieve things for themselves and believe in others. Being able to read and understand concepts that were not there for you before. And literacy offers so many elements to our lives that we all take for granted. And there are many out there who really do need that little edge, and we're hoping to provide it.
Excellent, excellent. So what do you see as far as the future of the Butte Literacy Program here? Ideally, what would you like to see for the Butte Literacy Program here in Butte within the next couple of years?
Well, I'd like to see it become an organization that's counted on for people to come to be able to help whatever education and training programs that are available to get students ready for them. And for individuals who decide that they don't want to live in poverty anymore, that let's see what we can do to as a stepping stone to what they really need. But also tutoring and working together enables people to acquire socialization skills as well, and learning how to ask questions and to seek information. It's a subtle part of the literacy program that we take for granted, because I'm a person who talks with my hands all the time, and I know what's going on. And the individuals that we communicate with, they're uncomfortable because they're afraid they're going to appear stupid. And we don't want that to happen anymore. And we'd like to see our Butte Literacy Program be an accepted, viable step in our community, who has a reputation for strong educational cycles with our the college and the academic avenues that are presently here. Let's get more people involved so that they can take those steps and further their education. For our local citizens, not just attracting people from out of town to come to our colleges, but for local people to be able to access the training opportunities right here.
It gives them a lot of hope,
It
knowing
does.
that they have someone that can help them with what they're dealing with.
And they're not alone, and they can express their fears to a tutor or an individual that works with them without having to talk with family members or someone who might say, what do you want to do that for?
They don't want to be judged.
They don't want to be judged. They want to be encouraged, and they want to be strengthened. And the word for me is empowered. Education is empowerment, and getting our basic skill levels up to a level where we can perform our duties easier, I think, is empowerment.
I like that concept. And in saying that, we're going to wind it down now. So, folks, very important topic to think about and discuss. Ask yourself, how can I help this organization? Can I volunteer my time? Can I support it by spreading the word? Can I donate a few bucks here or there to help them with fundraising? There's a lot of ways that you can help this organization. So I'm going to post a couple of links along with this video. At the end of this video, you'll see how you can contact the Butte Literacy Center or Butte Literacy Program and be able to help a little bit. And we would appreciate it. I mean, I know that as a tutor, the greatest feeling I got was at the very end when my student called me and sent me a text and said, I passed this test that he was aiming for. And I was like, yes. it was like a personal victory for me too, because we spend a lot of time over the material, and it was just an awesome feeling knowing that you helped somebody achieve a goal in their life. And so there is a lot of there's a sense of I can't even think of the word when you're dealing with helping someone achieve a goal like that. So
I think it's important to ask you also, if you know someone who does struggle with literacy, help them get here. And encourage them. Always be encouraging to somebody who talks about, God, I should have gone to school. Encourage them and to let them know that it's, once you set a goal in front of you, it's accomplished one step at a time. And that's what our program is about, helping individuals accomplish those goals.
Excellent, excellent. All right, well, thanks for tuning in today and for listening to a very important discussion on this topic. Again, check out the links at the end of our video. And, it's really nice outside, so don't forget to go out and experience Butte. Thanks for tuning in today.